So today we wanted to talk about the calf muscle. So the calf muscle is an incredibly interesting muscle because people don't realise often, but it's actually formed of three different muscles. The medial gastroc, the lateral gastroc and the soleus, which is a little bit lower down, closer towards your heel. Now this muscle, the soleus, has a huge pennation angle, meaning that when you peel the skin back it actually looks a little bit like a feather, or the muscle unit's coming to a midline, and that enables it to generate huge amounts of power. But the funny thing is with the soleus is it's often a muscle that's significantly overlooked, particularly when it comes to training. But more importantly for runners, it contributes probably close to 50% of the power that's exerted when you're pushing your foot, trying to give you some drive straight forward. So it's a muscle that we really need to pay more attention to and understand a little bit better. So we'll try and formulate a few exercises that we strongly recommend to try and train this muscle so that we're not just paying attention to the gastroc, the two main parts of the calf muscle, but also the soleus a little bit lower down. But firstly, let's have a quick look at the anatomy so we can explain that a little bit better. We're going to come around and just look closer at the calf group to get a better understanding of the muscles that are involved. So if we come down here, you can see we've got three muscles here in the back. Firstly, we've got the lateral gastroc, which is just there. Then if we bring this guy around a little bit, we can see we've also got the medial gastroc on the inside. But more importantly, as we were discussing, lower down through here, we've actually got the soleus deeper, just underneath the muscle. And it actually kind of runs directly underneath the gastroc from the top all the way down. But as mentioned, that's an incredibly powerful muscle. So now let's have a closer look at how we actually train this muscle to try and get the most out of it. Okay, so now we just want to go through some of the best ways to strengthen the soleus that we would use clinically, and three progressions of good ways to strengthen the muscle. So here you can see in the first exercise, I'm basically in a wall sit position with my knees at 90 degrees, but most importantly I've got a half foam roller or something underneath the balls of my toes to enable my heels to come all the way down to the ground and back up again. That's to enable the muscle to be strengthened within the same joint angles at the ankle that it's going to be utilized when running. The next progression to this exercise is to do it on a step in the standing position, and this can be done on either two legs or on one leg. Now this is a great progression because here we can load easily. We can add load through dumbbells or with an Olympic bar and plate weights to add more load through the muscle. The most important thing here though is to have the knee in flexion, because with all soleus exercises, when the knee is in flexion, the gastroc muscle or the top parts of your calf are in a disadvantageous position to work, but the soleus is in a much better position when the knee is bent to produce most of the force. So that's how we want to train it. So on the step you can see that we're driving up, keeping the knee bent at the whole time to make sure the soleus is doing the most amount of work. Now a next progression you can see here is using a power rack, an Olympic bar and plate weights. Great to do in the clinic or great to do in the gym if you have access to this equipment, because with this we can add explosive power, particularly when using power bands. Power bands enable us to be able to do a more explosive movement, and that's again more relevant to running, so it's an excellent progression from these other two, and you can load this up really quite heavily.